Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Finance on Your Terms with your host, me, Mike Benaziac. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Things may look a little bit different this week. We're trying something new. Not only did I mention as this series was coming back into play that I wanted to get more guests onto the Finance on Your Terms episode, just because I think it's more interesting than you just staring at me and hearing from me, but hearing from so many other experts out in the community. And we're also, in the world that we're living in right now, doing more and more on Zoom. So hopefully this is coming in loud and clear for all of you. But I do want to get right to it and introduce my guest for this series of episodes, and that happens to be Jordan Richardson with the Greater Des Moines Community Foundation. So, hi, Jordan. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks, Mike.
Good, good. And so Jordan and I have actually known each other for a few years, just in my role as we call it a charitable investment partner with the Greater Des Moines Community Foundation. And so we've worked together to try to help charities out with their endowments and their foundations. But what I wanted to do was bring Jordan on for this series and talk about some of the benefits that they provide for clients or for the community, and ways that you can reach out and contact them, ways that they could probably help you, whether it's from a charitable standpoint, or maybe help you take advantage of some tax advantages as well. First off, just because this is the first episode, Jordan, maybe introduce yourself as far as what your role is with the Community Foundation.
Yeah, you bet. Well, like Mike said, my name is Jordan. I'm the Director of Charitable Giving here at the Community Foundation. My role primarily is to work with professional advisors like Mike and clients like the clients of Mike. So many of you that are viewing in today. And one of the ways that we do that is with personal, individual, charitable giving, plan, strategy, charitable funds, what have you. I think we're going to talk a little bit about that today.
Yeah, and so we might as well go ahead and get right to it. So the topic for today is actually going to be donor advised funds. So for those out there that may have never have even heard this term, what the heck is a donor advised fund, and then how can it actually help people?
Yeah, great. Well, so a donor advised fund at a really basic level is a charitable account held with a public charity. So lots of us are familiar with family foundations like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We think of donor advised funds as an alternative to that, where rather than having all of the red tape that comes with something like a private foundation, we say, let's keep this simple and let's create an account within a charity like the Community Foundation for the benefit of ultimate charitable giving of an individual or a family or organization. So a donor advised fund does just that. We establish a fund, the John and Sally Smith Fund here at the Community Foundation, and then we defer to John and Sally Smith over time to tell us what to do with the charitable dollars that they put into that.
And I know the Smiths; they're very nice people, by the way. So I think the two things that I wanted to point out that you mentioned, ease of setup.
Yes.
And flexibility with what they can do with the fund. So maybe as far as ease of setup, is there a minimum to start this? And then what can the funds be used for? Are there any limitations to them as well?
Right. Yeah. So the ease of setup generally across the board is pretty simple. You can get donor advised fund access through someone like a community foundation, but then a number of other sources across the country. And they might range in minimums in their process to open the fund. But just speaking locally here at the Community Foundation, we have no minimums to start the fund. You could start for a couple $1,000 or a couple $100,000 or anything in between. And then in terms of the time to get started, really, really simple. There's a little bit of paperwork to sign together, and then you're really on your way.
Okay. And then flexibility. So you can put a minimal amount in, you can put a lot of money in, and then
Right.
the donors are able to just direct you, for instance, or whatever, donor advised fund partner that they're working with, on how to distribute those assets and when to distribute the assets, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So whether that's tomorrow or a year from now or 20 years from now, you'd let us know when you're ready to make a distribution from that fund to your favorite charity or favorite charities, and then we cut a check on your behalf to them. And then in the interim, Mike alluded to earlier, he's a charitable investment partner of ours. We see these funds as an investment vehicle over that short or long-term time horizon, where it's sitting there before it ultimately lands with the beneficiary of charity. And so we can engage with someone like Mike to invest those dollars on your behalf. And hopefully those dollars grow over time, and that's even more charitable impact.
That'd be the goal. Okay, that's great. Is there any other advantages, any other things that we should be knowing about the donor advised funds?
Yeah, we like them as a tool for retirement planning, that maybe this is something where we put dollars into it during working years for future giving. It's great there because every time you make a gift into the fund, you get the opportunity for a tax deduction that way. We also like it as a way to open your eyes to assets beyond just your checkbook, that maybe it's appreciated securities or real estate or farmland or something even more out of the box than just cash that can be used as an asset to fund these.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so for those of you out there, we were just talking about donor advised funds. We're actually going to keep Jordan around for the next couple episodes as well. There's a few more things that we want to touch on, talk about some great benefits to you. And I think most of you might be in the greater Des Moines area, so feel free to go check out the Community Foundation online. And what is that web address?
DesMoinesFoundation.org.
Okay, DesMoinesFoundation.org. So go and check that out. You'll be able to read more about this topic as well as others. So again, that's been another episode of Finance on Your Terms with me, Mike Benaziak. Thank you so much. Again, tune in next couple of weeks. We're going to have more of Jordan and his awesome knowledge about these funds and other charitable benefits that you can take advantage of. So with that being said, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Make sure to share the video, and we will see you soon.